the Realm. I'm Scott Schemmel from Sports Realm, and last night we witnessed a historic Super Bowl 55 from Tampa Bay, Florida, as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers took on the Kansas City Chiefs. I was in attendance for the game last night, and I can just tell you it was insane. The atmosphere was crazy. Considering it was only 25,000 fans, you could tell it was an unbelievable atmosphere for the amount and the limited capacity. And just outside of the stadium, you could just tell hundreds of thousands of people outside cheering. You could hear fans just all across the city of Tampa. So, Severin, let me get your thoughts on the game.
Yeah, so, I was in attendance, but I watched the broadcast from my dorm room, and I came in expecting a good game. I didn't get one. It was boring after the first half, but
yeah.
Basically, the story of the game was, we talked about it before in our predictions, was the Chiefs, our offensive line is hobbled. They are weak on the edges, and Tampa Bay is fantastic on the edges of the line, and they took advantage. So what interesting stats and stuff is the Chiefs, they basically banked on rolling with what they've been so dominant. They didn't want to change their game plan even with the injuries. So they left their front five offensive linemen to deal with the Tampa Bay pass rush 92% of the entire game of all the plays. And the Buccaneers defense just ate alive. Patrick Mahomes had to run every which way. He was running in circles. It seemed like every time he looked up, he was just darting, running for his life, trying to make a play. And he wasn't perfect, but he definitely didn't choke. And he did a lot for what he was given, as he has fantastic weapons, but he had no time and no windows to be able to get to those weapons. So.
Yeah, you can see it in the graphic Sports Round posted earlier. It's like he was running all over the field compared to Tom Brady.
Tom Brady barely moved. Patrick Mahomes was running everywhere. Yeah. And shout out Tampa Bay's defense. They got hot and they continue hot. Tampa Bay played their best game of the season on the biggest stage, and
they really
shout out to all of them. And that man Devin White is a monster.
Like, 12 total tackles, 8 solo. Like, that's unbelievable.
Yeah. Like, it's just like everywhere. Like, Patrick Mahomes would be trying to go somewhere. That dude was coming across the field like
everywhere.
An elite player. He's going to be a Pro Bowler for years to come.
Oh, yeah.
Probably all pro. One of the best linebackers. Mm-hmm. It's only his second year in the league, and he's already that dominant. Yeah. But he was everywhere. And then you go to the offensive side of the ball. Tom Brady and Gronk connected early, and they built that lead. And as I said before, I thought the Chiefs would win, but if the Tampa Bay got a lead, that was going to be huge for them because of their offense is so balanced. They would have run out the clock, and they had all the weapons and tools to be able to do that. And Tampa Bay looked fantastic, phenomenal. Kansas City suffered their worst loss under Patrick Mahomes ever, and it's the big storyline. Tom Brady got 7 rings, and it's a big deal. Max, what were your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, another thing to give credit to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense is their secondary played well. They did not have nearly the same fumble job they had earlier in the season, allowing Tyreek Hill to pop off in the first half. That he was relatively quiet. I think he had 1 or 2 catches. And
throw the piece on his face to show it too.
Ooh, at the end of the game, that was kind of disrespectful. That was.
Antoine, wait for the Buccaneers. Oh my gosh! I saw the comparison from Week 12. Like, we had Tyreek Hill going like this, so you did it back to him.
You can't blame him, bro.
What goes around comes around. That's what I say.
And then on the offensive side of the ball for Tampa Bay, they did get lucky a couple of times with untimely penalties by the Chiefs, but in the end, that's something that the Chiefs needed to get around and stop making, because it was a couple of I think they had 2 possessions in a row where it was touchdowns scored off of drives that wouldn't have made it that far if it weren't for an untimely penalty. Yeah, but in the end,
they had an interception callback too and stuff.
But the Buccaneers did everything to capitalize on all of the little mistakes that the Chiefs made all game.
They really did. Well, yeah, you look at Rob Gronkowski. He's a guy like the whole season. He's been a role player, maybe even less you could say. He was just doing his thing this season. This is his first season back. He had a year off, and that man had the best game of the whole season. His best game in the Super Bowl: 6 receptions, 67 yards, 2 touchdowns. And I can tell you, the crowd was going crazy. That Gronkowski, Tom Brady connection was on last night. And then there's just other guys like Leonard Fournette was everywhere for receiving. His 4 receptions, 46 yards, and that's not even considering his running of 16 carries, 89 yards. So that man
he played
popped
great.
He did, yeah. Severin knows he popped off.
And then Ronald Jones, that was a dangerous duo in the backfield.
Yeah.
Amazing. Because then, like we saw last night, you have Leonard Fournette. He gets tired for a play. He receives a pass one play. He got
fresh legs nonstop.
Yeah, fresh legs. So I mean, it was a really good game for the Buccaneers offense, and then the defense was just playing solid too. I mean, they held the Kansas City Chiefs to no touchdowns. Like, that's unbelievable. So
first time in Patrick Mahomes' career, his team doesn't score 10 points. First time in his career, he loses by double digits.
That's the wildest part.
That's just a testament to how well the Bucs defense played.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, we saw guys flying around all night, like Mike Edwards, just all those guys. So, shout out to them. They did it. They brought a Super Bowl to Tampa Bay, and I mean, last night, even like after the game, just the atmosphere. I left the arena after the game, and it was just driving through downtown Tampa. There's people climbing buildings, light poles. That city was just
Florida wild.
Yeah, Florida went crazy last night. So let's move on to Tom Brady's legacy and the outlook for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I'll start this one out. I think that Tom Brady with 7 rings. He the last 2 years or so, people have been starting to consider him as the GOAT, like one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. And I just think from him being considered that already, that this 7th ring is just I'm sorry, but and no doubt in my mind, you shouldn't put him in another sentence with another quarterback. I just don't think you should. He's the greatest quarterback of all time right now. And unless Patrick Mahomes, Patrick Mahomes is young. I'm not saying that one day Patrick Mahomes might not do something, but I'm just right now, it's Tom Brady. And next year, I give them a good shot at it too. It's all the guys, same guys coming back. Tom Brady's last year on his contract. So, I mean, I don't know. He might want to go win one more, and I could see them doing it. So, Severin, let me get your legacy and outlook for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, Tampa Bay looks scary. That's a stacked roster. And, yeah, when you look at Tom Brady, I don't like him as a player just because, I'm a Jets fan. I don't like Tom Brady. I wasn't pulling him from that game, but at least he's not wearing a Patriots uniform. But to do what he did away from Bill Belichick is massive.
It is.
He's the Bill Russell of the NBA just because he has the most championships of all time. But he's playing in the modern era, so for the significant future, he's going to be considered the greatest player of all time because he was so dominant in an era with 32 NFL teams. And this man was winning half the time. You literally flip a coin and look, Tom Brady's in the Super Bowl. Yeah. And then he has 70% chance of winning it. So it's absurd how many times he's won. You can't deny greatness. You can say, yeah, he didn't look like the greatest of all time. He doesn't have the greatest season of all time or anything like that. But consistency and leadership, you can't deny it. Tom Brady. You asked me 5 years ago, I'm not calling Tom Brady the GOAT, but he has the greatest resume in football history in this game.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can say he went to Tampa Bay and he brought that winning mentality. And then with him going there, guys followed. Antonio Brown, Leonard Fournette, guys like that, they followed. And with the team they already had, it was a solid team. It really was. The record doesn't show it last year, but it was a solid team with the defense. And Tom Brady went in there and he brought that mentality. He made them believe that they can win, and that's what happened yesterday.
He's like LeBron with the traveling system, and then they're winning in the championship games.
Yeah, Max, let's hear what you got about Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That game definitely did cement Brady as the GOAT. I will have to say, as much as I hate to. But what he's been able to do over...
Why the hate?
Okay, it's not uncommon to hate Tom Brady.
Sports hate. No, you don't hate
It's sports hate. It's sports hate.
Okay, yeah.
But as much as it's not my favorite thing to say, he is definitely the GOAT after this game. Yeah. And what's scary is they're on something like an 8-game win streak, and I expect them to do nothing other than roll that momentum on to next season, come in hot, and probably, they got nothing to do but attempt to repeat again.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the main thing for them. I don't see any downside right now. I don't see anything that would be holding them back from that. So I agree with you. Severin, what do you think? Is a repeat possible? I mean, it's possible. Do you think it's going to happen?
They'll be my favorite to come out the NFC as long as Tom Brady keeps doing. But with how he takes care of his body, I have nothing to tell me that I don't believe that he will be fantastic again next year. He threw 40 touchdowns. But, I mean, I still wouldn't have them as the favorite because I'm still going to roll with the Chiefs dynasty to be the favorite just because they've been so dominant.
Yeah. Okay, so now let's move on to Patrick.
I shouldn't say dynasty, but what I think will be a dynasty because I only.
Okay, what you think will be dynasty? Yeah. A lot of people were saying that this week. Like the Chiefs dynasty is official tomorrow after they win their second Super Bowl.
So I was thinking it.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I predicted one thing right. I said that the Bucs would win and they would have 31 points. I predicted that right. I didn't predict the Chiefs not scoring that much, but I mean, I got like 2/3 of it right. But I mean, I just think think that they can. I'm gonna say they're gonna have a good chance. Obviously, there's Aaron Rodgers. We assume that there's maybe Drew Brees. We have no idea with the Saints, but I mean that competition.
Drew Brees probably out.
Yeah. So,
Drew Brees said he's out, I think.
Yeah, so we got the competition on both sides, but
if anybody can repeat, it's gonna be Brady. He was the last person to do it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
I might count on it though, but it would not be surprised.
They club the fingers, Who knows? But so next, let's talk about our final topic of the day is Patrick Mahomes and where we see the Chiefs going from here. So I'll start us out on this one again, and I just think that Patrick Mahomes is so young, and his abilities, we've seen him MVP, and he's just amazing. So I think that obviously he's gonna win another Super Bowl. I really think that he will in the next few years. And who knows? Next year might be the year they start their dynasty. So I think that like the Chiefs have a great outlook, and next year they're gonna try to go and try to beat Tampa Bay. But I don't know. I don't know if I see it. They're gonna try, but I don't know if I see it. And then we think about how they looked for the game yesterday, and they lost Eric Fisher. Who knows how it would have been? That's a number one pick. Left tackle. So that's a big guy, and it hurt last night, like Severin said.
But I think he's gonna have a hard time recovering. I think he tore his Achilles. So.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, man. And it's like Severin said with the pressures and stuff. That showed last night. That left side was weak, and it was noticeable. So, you can't blame that on Patrick Mahomes, and he tried. He really did. I don't know. I know if you guys saw him, Max. You saw him, right? They're 20 yards behind, out of the pocket,
parallel to the ground, throwing the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, you see that he was 20 yards out of the pocket, and he threw it off his back leg, and the receiver
after running around for like 20 straight.
Yeah, it'll still hit the receiver's hands
on like a broken toe or something too.
Yeah, so he
resilience.
He wanted to win. So I think they have a great future with Patrick Mahomes, but I think Brady's still got a few more years than him, and who knows what he could do. So yeah, Severin, let me get your thoughts. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs outlook.
Yeah, the Chiefs have looked invincible for so long, and I know a Super Bowl loss can do a lot to damage a team, but that is scary. And with Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce, you have to think the offense is going to be otherworldly, no matter what, just because of those three guys. And yeah, Patrick Mahomes looked frustrated all night. It's the worst loss of his career, obviously, losing by 22 points. They got beat down bad on the biggest stage in American sports. And Patrick Mahomes, he was tough, resilient, but you could tell he was extremely frustrated by the fact that he wasn't able to score. There were some plays where he dropped, but he didn't have a lot of time. And the receivers, they weren't the reason they lost. It was just Tampa Bay defense was absurd. Yeah. But yeah, Patrick Mahomes, I do think, like you said, he will make more Super Bowls. Most likely will win them. You can't guarantee it, but it's as close to a guarantee as you can get.
It is, yeah.
Because he's so young and been so great. As far as catching Tom Brady or something like that, he's going to have to rack up MVPs, break some records, and then keep winning. He might not be able to get to 7, but if he has, Peyton Manning type numbers and he's able to win a lot more than Peyton Manning did, that dude's going to be scary. It's not guaranteed, but you have to think this dude still has he still has the potential to be one of the greatest of all time.
You just got to hope you got to hope that he can brush this one off and just keep going. I saw a few times last night he overthrew a few receivers, but you can't blame him.
He made mistakes.
Yeah, and the pressure was just unbelievable on him. Seeing that up close, that he had it just didn't have time. It was a bad situation. But yeah, Max, let's get your thoughts on this.
Yeah, this game was really frustrating for Patrick Mahomes. He said himself, it's gonna do nothing but motivate him for the rest of his career. So I think if you're Patrick Mahomes and you're the Chiefs, you take a little bit of time to understand, we made mistakes. We didn't come out and play our best game. But what we're gonna have to do is polish that up, come back next season. We're still this same team that we were beforehand, and fix the holes that were in the offensive line that wasn't their fault at all.
Yeah.
Fix those holes and just say run it back.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the time where his leadership, he's going to have to step up now. He's going to have to, do what Tom Brady did going into Tampa Bay. He's going to have to say, we can win, we are going to win. Yeah, he has to bring that mentality this year. And if he does, they'll be back next year. I have no doubt of that. But yeah, all right. Thank you guys for watching. And make sure you like, subscribe, listen to anywhere you get your podcast. If you're on YouTube, share this to everyone. And thank you guys for watching. Max?
Sports Room out.